All right. Welcome to another Pawn Collective. We are doing another one, even though we haven't even finished the one yet last time, because we're terrible at this. We're terrible at YouTube.
How do people find the time to do their regular lives and everything else that needs to be done?
I don't know.
I
just don't know.
I mean, we're working human beings, so how?
Yeah, we got shit to do.
We have families, we have friends. I mean, it's a lot of shit. It really, truly is.
We got to cut out the friends. That's what we got to do.
Yeah, cut the friends out altogether.
Cut the friends. Cut them all.
Make YouTube our friends.
We're our friends.
Just you, me, and YouTube.
Just you and me. And YouTube.
So we actually have 84 friends on YouTube now. So that's actually more friends than I have in real life. Way more.
We need some more though.
Way more.
We need like 100,000.
Well, the problem is we're not getting our episodes out. So
yeah, nobody's gonna subscribe if we just fucking sit on our episodes for 2 weeks.
Maybe we should hire a gnome. Or an intern.
You want to hire an intern?
Be like, hey, listen, we don't have any money to give you. We're in different cities, and you're probably in a different city, so you need to also, just get these files and get them out.
Right.
Could work.
Probably in Mexico or something.
India, bro. India.
Yeah, we should hire an Indian. Okay, well, let's get to it. So today we are going to, I guess we're just going to talk about the upcoming midterms. We've got midterm elections on November 6th. Let's start with a little PSA. Get registered if you're not registered, and go vote.
It's really easy to register, guys.
If we can even just get like some of the 84 people that are subscribed to us to go vote, that would be amazing.
Yeah, you literally, if you haven't, you just go online, type in, vote November and online, and it'll tell you for what state you're in, and you can just register online, and they'll send you either a ballot card, or you could be registered and go out to the polls.
Yeah,
but
registration is.
I think the mail-in is. I think the mail-in's the good way to go, because half the people's excuse is that it's like a work day and you have to like get out of work and go and do all the shit.
Yeah, do the absentee. It sucks because voting is work, right? It's a little bit of. It's an annoying thing you have to do, but it's no more annoying than half the other shit we have to do all the time. So. Just got to do it. You just got to do it. Now, that's not to say, because I don't know if we can talk about this in the news. There's been a lot of news about these Republican states doing this shady unregistering people and closing.
They're unregistering people, huh?
Yeah. So, like,
what kind of people?
They're purging register. Oh, I'll take a guess.
Probably poor or black. Or colored,
they are purging the voter rolls. So like if and generally, so they go, okay, it's more common that people of brown or black skin have similar names. That's just like generally a more common thing. So they purge. So they go, if we purge the voter records of people that have similar names because we say, oh, you can't have a similar name, then then mostly we'll hit black people and brown people, and then we can help the Republicans because guess what? Guess who doesn't vote Republican most of the time?
Yeah.
Black people.
So they're just going to go for the Smiths, take out the Smiths, take out the Johnsons.
The blacks. Ooh.
I mean, is that really happening? They can't just do it.
Yeah, so let's find an article here. So the voter
link
registration purge, and this is like in the Georgia governor's race. They are
53,000.
And that is a huge number. I mean, people win races by 3,000.
How many people live in Georgia?
I don't know.
Okay, so 10 million.
But people win. I mean, like half the electorate votes, and then people win races by like a few thousand. I mean, that's
right.
common. I mean, Trump won some states by 2,000 votes. So, anyway, go register. But we understand if your state is a bunch of racists and hate you, that's okay.
But don't make that shit. Still shouldn't be an excuse not to do it.
No, I agree. Like you should feel like angry and then go try and vote anyway because fuck this shit.
It's
they
one
don't
of the
want
powers,
you to vote.
It's one of the powers as the civilians of the United States that we have to where we actually have a voice.
It's the only way to get anything that you want. Right now they give you once every 2 years you get a chance to make your voice heard. So really otherwise it's just like yelling into the dark. You know what I mean? So,
yeah. And
anyway.
also if your state is like California is, mostly blue, that still doesn't mean don't go vote because there are still issues in there that whether you're blue or red, it still needs a vote. And just because a state like California is blue, and I could easily say, well, it's blue, everyone's going to vote the way that I want, that I feel that the world should be run. So
right.
Don't let that be an excuse.
No, I'm Chicago's also blue. Illinois is not though. So in larger races, we still tend to go blue, but it's still, I'm still making it. I'm holding it down for the state here. So
trying.
Get out there. And if you live in one of those middle of the country states, definitely get out there.
Yeah, you guys are the most important, actually.
And I'm going to say go vote Democrat, but honestly, if you get to the polls, I feel like the more you're thinking about it, the more you're going to realize how dumb some people are.
Yeah, and when it is red versus blue, I also go blue, but even these blue guys are
Oh, well, yeah, I mean, we are critical of both, but when it comes down to it, the lesser of two evils is often still just what you have to do. And I mean, people were bitching about it with Hillary, but it's like you fucking got to vote. You can't vote for these idiots on the right. You can't.
Some of them are really, really big idiots.
Don't let them win. They're the worst people in the world.
They are making choices for you. Okay?
Yeah. They're making choices against you for themselves,
yeah,
right?
That's true. I should say.
They don't give a shit about you.
Give a shit.
All right. Well, let's go.
Here,
let's
show. This is what they sent me in the mail. Okay.
Here you go. Nice.
You even get your sticker, if that's important to you.
So you can pretend like you voted even when you didn't.
I should just rip this up right here and put the sticker on and walk around work today with the sticker
on. Definitely.
Some instructions in a secrecy envelope. Okay, keep it secret. And it's pretty nice. I don't know if this is what they all look like, but it's 8 pages, folks.
If you're embarrassed of your vote, I don't know. Maybe you shouldn't be voting.
If you're embarrassed about it?
I think we should all have to do it. We should all have to do it out loud in a room.
The problem with being out loud is a lot of these people I don't know anything about, right? So
and if you're in Idaho, I get it. You're voting blue and your neighbors are going to yell at you. I understand.
Yeah, they might. That's true. You never know, dude. People get crazy, right?
People get crazy.
They get really crazy.
So let's go over the ballot. So what do you got on your ballot?
Let's see. So I don't know if we have to go over everything. Let's go.
No, just pick out some of the cool stuff.
I think the important ones here. For governor,
I guess mostly I'd like to do it just because I want if people do watch this, they can see kind of like
sure.
how would you approach a ballot when you don't. Hey, say you don't know things on it. What would you do to approach that?
Yeah.
thing?
I've slowly been looking at people on my own, but today the Democratic Socialists of America of Los Angeles released a 2018 general election voter guide. That's
Love the
helpful.
DSA. You asked me earlier, and I love the DSA. They are so far on the right side of every policy that I am. So,
I was gonna say, because I asked you earlier, I've met I've met a few people and during these protests and stuff, and I love all the people that I've met. I read through the entire article of them talking about every single thing about the thing earlier this morning, and I agree with everything they say. So
right.
This voter guide was created for me. Makes it really
if you care
simple.
about socialist values at all, which we do,
and
democratic socialists. So don't go crazy thinking that we're, people try to call us Russia and stuff. It's like it's not the same thing.
It's not the same thing. And if you disagree with our political values, we could still be friends.
Yeah, that's okay.
As long as you're not an asshole.
Things.
I mean, unless
There's
you're
more
really
important things.
you would really have to be a really huge asshole for me to dislike you, regardless of which way you vote. But
well, I'll say too, like I love the Democratic Socialists of America because I like the way that they're moving things. But even if we just agree on the key issues, that's important because there's just a few things that people are dying from not having health care, and that's important. So we can talk about that.
That's huge. That is huge.
But you want to discuss a universal basic income? Sure. I tend to think it would be a good idea, but I understand the hesitancy to want to give people free money every year. I get that. So
yeah, who knows what would happen if people were getting free money, right?
Could you imagine? What would they do? They'd probably just sit around.
Probably.
Jerk off all day.
That's what I would do. All right, so let's start with governor of Cali. Got two guys. Gavin Newsom is our Democrat. John Cox is our Republican.
He sounds like a Republican.
Just John Cox. I'll just start with their recommendation because they're pretty funny. Plug your nose and vote for Newsom, but don't expect him to deliver any promises unless we fight for them.
That's like our governor race too, man.
Yeah, so this is kind of like the lesser of two evils type thing you were talking about, right? But this guy, I mean, his platform looks really good. California stays as a sanctuary state, universal preschool, free tuition for the 2 years of community college, pro-choice.
Universal preschool is such a good idea.
Universal preschool?
Kids, why would... Yeah, there's always a good idea to take care of the kids. Always a good idea.
Right from the start, right?
Right from the start.
Yeah.
I don't care whose family you're in. They have no money. You get taken care of. That makes sense to me.
Yeah. Start a college savings account for every incoming kindergartner.
Whoa, that's cool too.
End cash and bail for profit prisons. State single payer healthcare system. State bank. Everything that the left side wants to hear. This guy is apparently
them
supporting.
saying plug your nose is like, that guy's pretty good actually. Sounds...
Yeah, he's I don't know exactly. They write a thing about it, and their take is that Newsom he starts pulling towards whatever is popular so that he can get that.
Yeah, some people will say whatever they can to get in and then don't do anything. So, end sanctuary cities, outlaw abortion. I mean, they couldn't be. It's so interesting how polarized the views are these days.
It's just the opposite.
It's the complete opposite. Like I couldn't even be convinced that that's a good idea at this point. You know?
Endorsed by Donald Trump.
Oh God.
Anti-immigrant.
He's not even going to win. He doesn't have a chance.
He has no chance. Oh, you know what his campaign slogan is? Reclaim California.
Oh, he's just running to run. He's never going to win.
And the sanctuary state. Yeah.
You got too many immigrants in California for that guy to win.
They're all friggin'
Everyone's
immigrants
a
here.
friggin'
Dude,
immigrant. You're
the
dead.
hell?
You're dead, John Cox. All right, cool. So is there anything that you were like kind of like, I don't know what I should do about this?
Yeah, there's a couple of the here, let's go down. I do want to talk about
Prop 13.
one guy here.
okay.
Where is he? 34. It's the one green guy in here, Kenneth Mejia.
Okay.
Mejia?
Meja.
Mejia?
Meja.
Mejia?
All right.
This guy, I just want to read this first paragraph for his platform.
Okay.
Does green never wins, right? No matter
No,
what.
I don't think they've ever won.
They've never ever
They've
won.
done some decent things in the past, but they often split the vote, and part of why Trump won.
So why would you run as green instead of say something else?
People,
do you
well,
think?
Green's not a bad platform. I mean, it's an environmental platform. That's why they're the Green Party. But people are very huge. They have convictions about wanting a third party so that there's more of a representation in the country. But
Yeah.
right now, a third party just splits the vote. It's not to say you can't vote third party. I think that, I mean, I get it for sure. But when there's an evil like Trump running, a third party becomes a problem, and it becomes a protest vote because you know they're not going to win.
Sure.
And if you and this was something that came up after the election with Trump. If the Green Party really, 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 really wanted to win, they would come out. They always come out like really late with their candidate. They're just there just to jump in. They don't spend the time and the money that the other two parties do, and they don't get the volunteers, and they don't get out there. And it's like, it seems like they don't even want to win. Like that's why
Right.
I'm a little upset with them, because it's like you got to put in the work. Don't just jump in the last few months and then go, we're the Green Party. How come we can never win? Anyway.
Yeah, it's interesting because the Democrat Jimmy Gomez, like his platform sounds pretty good. Affordable Care Act, single payer for California, supports DACA, immigration reform,
Got it.
minimum wage, all that good stuff. At the end, it says taking campaign contributions from private prisons, health insurance, and charter school interests.
He is or is not?
He has.
Oh no. Private prisons? Oh, boy.
Like it sounds progressive, the stuff he stands for, but then you're kind of flipping the switch and like doing this.
It
weird
seems
thing
like we're getting a
to
lot
get
of these
money.
fake progressives where they just feel like these ideas are popular, so they.
Yeah,
so they do
yeah,
it.
fake progressive. Yeah, that's true. But okay, so Kenneth, 100% renewable energy, universal income, $15 an hour, worker-owned cooperatives, 30-hour work weeks, Medicare for all, free public college, canceling student debt, universal rent control. I mean,
he
wants all
sounds
this shit.
great. He's not going to win on the Green Party. People ignore the Green Party, unfortunately, and then the people who do vote for them end up splitting the vote. So, I mean,
I'm gonna vote for him.
do
anyway.
People do
going
that.
to.
I don't know, but then your other guy loses, and then what happens? No, I don't know. It's a tough situation. I tend to say vote. Even though it sucks, vote against the person you don't want. Don't vote for the person you because if you voted for the person you
Okay.
wanted,
Yeah.
then you
Yeah.
would vote for the third party. The Green Party often has the best platform. It's true. But this is why it's nice that somebody like the DSA is sort of co-opting the Democratic Party to push their progressive agenda. So
Yeah. Well, that's what they said. They called Kenneth a DSA ally, even though he's
yeah. I mean, maybe he won't take this corporate money after he wins. Now that he's sort of on the progressive side. I mean, people can change. Who knows? But I'm just saying that's a better strategy to co-opt the Democratic Party that already exists, push people with platforms that they like on the side of that party, and then you can actually win. Trying to jump in with a third party that has like half-assed its way in is, not going to do it. There are some green candidates. I think independent. No, maybe there's no green candidates in Congress.
He's literally the only one in this entire ballot that I have.
You talk about somebody like Ralph Nader. I mean, he used to run all the time, and he has a Green Party, and he's like responsible for seatbelts, basically. So they do some good stuff.
All right, let's see. I got 2 more things on this ballot that are super important for California. I've talked to you about this thing called the Proposition 10. Yeah. This is basically the rent control for Los Angeles.
Okay.
With the housing crisis in Los Angeles, with 50,000 homeless people on the streets, right, and gentrification and everyone coming to Los Angeles, it's getting way too expensive to live, right? Their stat here, since 2000, the median rent in Los Angeles has risen 32%, while the incomes have dropped 3%.
Wow.
I'm not sure how exactly the rent control works in all of Los Angeles, but my place is rent controlled. It goes up 3% every year. Though, like, I met somebody across the street who was paying the same price as me, and he was moving out, and he said that they raised his rent to $3,500 for a 1-bedroom.
Oh my God!
As big as my place, like 900 square feet.
Oh my God!
Could you imagine?
So yeah, I don't know how that works then. What buildings get rent controlled and what don't? That's interesting.
Yeah, I think because mine is privately owned, I think most of this rent control stuff that is affected by kind of like apartment housing.
Okay.
If that makes any sense.
Yeah, so yours is affected. But yours is rent controlled.
Mine is rent controlled. Yes.
Yeah. So what's his, a house?
No, I'm saying so mine is owned by one guy. It's not really technically like an apartment complex.
Okay. Interesting.
Saying like actual like those big boxes with like all the apartments inside. Anyway,
interesting.
One of the policies that they would enact would be invent cause to evict tenants in order to raise rent on new tenants.
Yeah, that's classic rent bullshit. Because when you have a turnover, I think you get a chance to up the rent.
Yeah, they can't. They're like, for example, my place, they're not allowed to change. They have to rent it out for the same price that we got it for if they decide to evict us.
Interesting.
So it looks like most of Los Angeles isn't rent controlled. Maybe Santa Monica is rent controlled, but other parts of Los Angeles aren't.
Yeah, maybe.
Again, obviously everyone should be voting yes on this unless you're obviously one of these corporate.
Well, unless you're a landlord.
Unless you're
there's less landlords than there are tenants, so that should easily pass.
Yeah. So if you're in California and you don't want the rent to go skyrocketing, vote yes on Prop 10.
That's it.
It's not going to stop everything, obviously, but it's definitely a push in the right direction because, everyone wants to live here. I get it, but the homeless crisis in LA is absolutely real, and I think a lot of it does have to do with the outrageous pricing that is Los Angeles.
Need more affordable housing too. I mean, that's a huge thing here in Chicago.
Just in general, right? I mean, I don't
need more housing that people can just get into and don't have to like kill themselves to stay in. But cool. So you're voting yes on that.
Vote yes on that, and the last big one is the public bank for Los Angeles.
That's great. Oh, I love that idea. So let's talk a little bit about what that means, right? banks are run by corporations, most of them. There are some credit unions. Credit unions are great if you are part of one. They are basically owned by the people who have an account at the bank. However, banks have a little bit of a threshold level to get into the bank to open an account, right? Sometimes they have a minimum amount you have to put in. Sometimes they have a minimum amount you have to keep in the account. A lot of them have some free checking accounts, but in general, if you drop to $0 in your account, you can get totally fucked, and then you have to owe money to the bank because you didn't keep money in your account, which is hard for people who don't have a lot of money. If you have to take all the money out at some point, then you're screwed. So this creates an option, right, that is totally free, a place to put your money, a place to accrue wealth that doesn't fault you for taking it away. And the interest that they create from investment, which is how banks make money, that goes to the state rather than to a corporation paying lining someone's pockets. Now the state has an extra income that it can use for affordable housing and things like that. So anyway,
hear that, folks? That was a beautiful explanation of it. So just a couple stats for just Los Angeles. Wall Street banks own it. We give them $8 to $12 billion to hold at any given time. We owe them $115 million in fees and around $1 billion in interest for loans. The big banks use this to loan out even more and create more interest, and they invest our monies into private prisons, fossil fuels, and weapon manufacturers. All that money that California has given us, let's make some more guns. So yeah, just like Mike said, this is going to be able to give Los Angeles money back to help Los Angeles, because it doesn't seem like we have any idea or have any say in what happens to this money that we're giving to these banks. If I think vote yes. It's not, obviously it won't just create this public bank all of a sudden for voting yes, but again, it's just another step in the right direction. Yeah, it says here we could divest from oil companies and private prisons while using the money to reinvest in our communities for public housing, like Mike said, green energy, public transit, and more. It just sounds it sounds like everybody. Why wouldn't every place do this? I'm not really sure.
Okay, so I think that banking became the moneymaker for rich people, and we have a history of having rich people as our politicians. So it's not in their best interest to create a bank that doesn't make them money. That's not worthwhile. So if you just completely, I think it's great that people are bringing it up, and I think it's great that people are interested in it, because I think in the past, if somebody brought something like this up, it's like, why, but I think it's like investing in. There's this new push for investing in your community, investing in the people around you, and investing in the place around you, because banks aren't going to do that. Just because there's a really expensive bank over down the corner, they're not repaving your roads. They're not helping the homeless people. They're not doing any of that. They're getting rich, and so I don't know. It's nice. It's just nice that this is now an important thing, and people are doing it. So people are interested.
And I guess we'll see what happens. I mean, maybe it doesn't go through.
So what's your? Well, I couldn't see why. Yeah, like you were saying, why wouldn't you?
Yeah, I don't. I mean, from reading this,
what do you
obviously,
think?
Why would that be? Why would you say no to this? Why would you?
Well, there's people who believe in the free market as some sort of amazing thing that creates a prosperity better than like taxes or public programs. And maybe it's those people. Maybe those people go, that's just how it's been. We have a bank that makes money, and they have an incentive to be a good bank. I mean, that might be the thing that people say, which I will argue with. But so people point to the Postal Service, the USPS, and say it sucks.
Yeah.
USPS sucks, and it's because it's public and they don't care. They have no incentive to be better because they just exist as a public entity. First of all, that's not true. They are completely funded by the money they make off of postage, but also. Does FedEx and USPS really are UPS really better? I've had some pretty bad experiences with both of them.
Yeah, no, they're the same, dude.
Right, they're all shitty. They all are kind of shitty, and I agree that could probably get better.
I mean, they know what the other one does, so why be bad? Like it's all working. They're all working.
Yeah, right. It's like you just live up to the level of your competitor, I guess. But that's so I think that's what people point to is the Republican rhetoric is like with healthcare. The Republican rhetoric is the government doesn't know how to do it. Private entities do it well. Let's let them do it.
Okay.
That's their whole thing.
Sure.
And it's not true because Medicare has like a 70% approval rating. Like people love Medicare, and Medicare is state-run healthcare. It's not state-run healthcare where you have to go to some sort of state doctor. You still go to private doctors. They still get paid by the government, but it's state-run and it's really, really popular. So explain that. If the government can't do anything good, why do people love Medicare?
What about the city doesn't have to guarantee to use this money for things like that, right? Do you think there could be a situation where the city could use it for...
Yeah, that's always a problem. And that's why voting's so important, because when people do shit like that and don't spend your money the way you want them to, get them the fuck out of there. But yes, that's always an issue. I think there's been some attempts to try and fix that, where like people go they create lock boxes. I don't know if you've ever heard of that. Somebody will be like, okay, for this program, we're going to create a money lockbox. We're going to put the money in this lockbox, and it has to go to this program.
Okay.
And nobody else can touch it. The only problem with that is then you have this money locked up, and then the other side, the Republicans usually go, we're wasting all this money. It's just sitting in this lockbox and nobody's using it. And it's like, that's the whole point. Nobody should be using it because it's for this other thing.
We're saving it for something.
We're saving it so that people have health care or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's hard to navigate. I think it's a great idea. I think a lot of these programs are great ideas. Universal healthcare has the same things we're talking about, the same criticisms, right?
Yeah.
The government runs it. It's not going to be as good, which is totally, I think, wrong. But the problem is, I've said this so many times, the Republican rhetoric is underfund state-run things so that they suck, then point to those shitty state-run things that you underfunded and say, this sucks, let's totally defund it, and then move it to private entities. That's the whole plan. So if you just don't underfund a program like a state-run bank or universal healthcare, if you fund it properly and it works for everyone, there's no reason. Yeah. There's no reason to privatize it. So, I don't know. That's what they're doing now. They're trying to push Medicaid. They're trying to get Medicaid.
Well, these people are not going to be making all this great old money they've been making. So
that's the thing. I mean, people make so much money on healthcare. People make so much money on banks. They make so much money.
We'll have to do a whole episode on the healthcare system. And all that stuff, because
I want to ask people: is there a reason? Tell me this. Can you see a reason why anybody should have more than $10 million liquid?
Just straight up?
Like, what if you just put a cap? Everyone can only make $10 million. Once you hit $10 million, you don't get any more money. You have to give it all to the government. Why would that be bad? Anybody can live off of $10 million. Nobody needs more than $10 million, right?
Well,
and this is liquid too. You could still have assets. You could still have a house. You could still have a.
well, some
you could
some
still
people
have
need
investments.
11 million, Mike.
It's insane, but people will fight that, and why? Because of the principle that if you can make more money, you should be allowed to make more money. Why? I just don't. Anyway, now I'm on a tirade.
No,
it's good.
People should be thinking about that kind of stuff because it is true. It's like why do we give these billionaires so much power to continuously make money off of us when we are scratching and clawing our way through the shithole that we have to deal with? When they
because of the principle that we should be able to make as much money as possible, that proves human ingenuity and will, and I don't know, like what is it? What is it that beyond $10 million proves to like why does that make anybody more free to be able to make over $10 million? Like, right? Is it freedom? Freedom to make more money?
Freedom to do what, dude? There's
right. It's plenty of money. You can never spend $10 million if you don't spend it like a moron.
You can't go to space on $10 million. I'll tell you that.
Because no single human being should be going to space. It should be a program that we all pay for. Jeff Bezos should not have enough money to go to space by himself.
Mike can't help but call Jeff Bezos' name every time.
The smooth man wants to go to space by himself. Do you really think that one person should have enough money to just blast off to space?
Just cause? Yeah.
I'm fucking out of here. See you later. I don't get it. I don't understand why I understand why rich people want more money. That I get. I don't understand why people like us defend people who have tons of money to get more money.
That's also a good point.
Because
also a good point.
Did they think one day that they're going to have over $10 million? They probably do, right?
I will never see $10 million in my entire life.
I will never see that much money. And if I do, I will be happy. Well, maybe I'll change. You know what? If I made $10 million, maybe I would turn around and go, yeah, maybe I should be able to make 20.
I mean, maybe, but probably not. I mean, any regular person would probably look at $10 million and go, well, guess I'll go do whatever I want. Don't have to think about money
I'll just
ever
buy
again.
an island. I'll buy an island. Islands, you can buy an island for like $5 million. Then you still have $5 million. Invest half of that. You'll never pay for anything again in your life. And you're living on an island.
Some people don't want that.
Seems fine.
Okay. Let's see. All right, Mike, you got a link for me. Let's talk a little bit about the.
Just go to. So I wanted to show people this site too. So you have that, but this is another site you can use. It's not as great, but Ballot Ready. Go ahead and go to Ballot Ready. This will work for anybody. This will work for wherever you are. You're going to put in your address.
Oh, nice. Okay. What's your
zip? So go ahead and put your address in. 60657.
We'll put these links down at the bottom, guys. All right. Oh, they got the photo.
So it works nice where you just sort of click on the guy you want to talk, you want to discuss. I like Tom Hansen's a moron. I like Quigley.
His name's Quigley.
Well, yeah, I know, right? But we saw Quigley do some pretty interesting shit during the Kavanaugh hearing. He was calling his ass out pretty well. Okay. So,
got links.
So I was happy. I was happy my candidate was in on the.
Man, look at this. They got the branches in his face. What? Who made this?
Yeah, that is weird. Anyway, he's just a regular guy. He's not a progressive. He's fine. He's not gonna. He needs to get primaried. I would be fine with him getting primaried by a progressive, but right now we have him as the choice. So, but you can just go. So once you click him, you can either add him to your ballot or you can, just look. But if you scroll down there, you say add to my ballot.
Yeah. Okay, hold on. Let me add Quigley to ours. Oh, okay. Not gonna sign up yet.
You don't have to, but then it'll at the end, if you do that, it'll give you a ballot to take to the polls.
Gotcha.
And then you can just look at what you voted for. So who's this? We got governor. So for governorship, again, we've got the same thing. We've got to hold your nose and vote for the Democrat. We got a libertarian. Is that the Libertarian?
Yeah.
Yeah, god damn it.
Needs a different photo, dude.
I almost hate them more than the Republicans. Look, I understand the basis of being a libertarian is like do whatever you want, let other people do whatever they want, and we'll all be happy. But it doesn't. I mean, society doesn't work that way. I know it sounds great in principle. It just does not work that way. Yeah, no, fuck that guy too.
William
What is
Sam
he, C?
McCann.
I think he's just conservative, generally conservative.
Just is that what the C is? Just conservative.
I think so. Yeah, I think so. So our two main ones are J.B. Pritzker, who's a billionaire, and Bruce Rauner, who's also a billionaire.
Okay.
We have two billionaires running for governor in Illinois, and they're fighting for the rights of the middle class somehow.
They want the middle class to succeed.
Yeah. But the one thing the J.B. Pritzker is into recreational marijuana. He's mentioned it numerous times. So if we could get recreational marijuana in Chicago, I think it would really help our budget problem and also help me get high
for free.
Not for free, legally.
So that you don't have to go through the shadiness of dealing with somebody.
I don't have to go to a drug dealer.
Dude, I can't. I would
friend.
never even attempt to go through a drug dealer anymore. I can't even.
You don't have to
fathom the idea of even doing that. Like,
yeah. So I want some marijuana in my state. And he's okay with it. I don't know if he'll actually follow through with it. Honestly, he may not. But at least he's pushing for it.
This site's great. You can click on these different things and see what he says.
Yeah, some of the candidates don't have any of those because they just don't have issues that they care about. Like, if you click on that libertarian guy, he's just got like one sentence.
Supports the use of funding to background check records. Okay.
Yeah, and he wants to purge the prisons of nonviolent offenders, which I think is an amazing idea.
Yeah.
Let's get people back working rather than spending taxpayer dollars in jail.
When you do that though, what do those people do about just like housing? Do these people just become homeless? I mean,
well, you gotta have a
support system
rehabilitation program, right? But this is all I think is part of it. If you're gonna purge them out of the system, you gotta have a plan to get them back. So, yeah.
All right, so we're gonna go with Pritzker, the Democratic millionaire.
Yeah, we gotta go for the chubby billionaire instead of the skinny billionaire.
You don't want to go for Grayson Jackson? That photo, bro.
That photo, bro.
I mean, just the photo alone makes me say.
At least he's not a billionaire. I'll give you that. If you just want to not vote for a billionaire, I might agree with that. So anyway, we can just skip through here.
You want to go for
Jesse White's gonna win that for sure. Are there any
what about this guy,
initiatives?
Kwame?
I like Kwame.
He looks nice.
Look at him. Yeah, he's tight. I mean, I'm voting D all the way down. That's just unfortunately what I got to do this time.
I mean, that's pretty much what anybody is going to do, right? I think.
And that's how it splits, right? It's you go D all the way down, you go red. I mean, the biggest thing for me is we vote for our judges, and oftentimes these judges do bad shit and slide through because nobody knows what judges do. So I would say if you're in Illinois or any other state that votes for your judges, because some states just appoint them, they don't vote for them. Mm-hmm. If you do vote, look them up or go to the law review site. Oftentimes the law board review will give you a list of the good judges, because some judges are corrupt, unfortunately.
Of course. Oh, they don't have any of your measures in here.
Click on the measures. No measures.
No, coming soon. Free for.
We've got nothing crazy. So our state does not vote on referendums other than to gauge interest. You can't actually pass. They couldn't put legalized marijuana on the ballot and then it passes and then we have legalized marijuana. It would be do you want to legalize marijuana? And then we would just know interest in who wants to legalize it, which we had on our last election. We did have that question.
So, and then after that, it goes to the state to decide, and then.
Yeah, then the state government has to make their decision on it.
Interesting.
But if there's interest, then why not? I don't know. It's not good. I don't like it. I think
Yeah, I
you should be
wonder,
able to
like,
pass shit
that
with a memorandum.
that even
but-
makes it more important to make sure you know who you're voting for and who you're putting in there, especially if it.
Yeah,
it goes
yeah,
through
yeah. Because
to those
they're
things.
the ones going to be making those decisions for sure.
Um,
Anyway, so yeah, check that site out. It's not bad. Also, another one, you can just show them the site. Another one is Ballotpedia. Ballot Ready is a private company. Ballotpedia is run by the government, I think.
it looks very very government.
It's not great. Well, I think it's just an organization, like a nonprofit. But similar thing, you can put in your address and you can get your ballot and you can fill it out. I like them both. They both work pretty well. I was having a little trouble with Ballotpedia today. It wasn't loading, so I switched over to Ballot Ready. But
Yeah, and you should really just read and learn about everybody, even if you are going to do what we're going to do is kind of just go down and vote, you know.
just vote down the middle.
Um,
I agree. Yeah, definitely take a look at everyone. Just get informed.
Just know.
Like J-Roll was asking about the Green Party, and that's great. Definitely consider, what do third parties mean? How do they fit into this whole landscape? Do they just steal votes, or are they a legitimate option? It's not cut and dry in every race,
Right.
ever.
It's
Sometimes the Green Party might be really popular and might win. I mean, Bernie Sanders is a independent. He's not green, but he's an independent who won and is a senator in Vermont. So it can happen. An independent can just be a populist and everybody likes him, and he can win, or she can win. So and yeah, look at the DSA. Look at their policies that they believe in and are pushing, and see if you align with them. If you do, check out the DSA chapter in your area. I haven't gone to one of the DSA meetings in Chicago, but I really want to. And we should do a whole video on DSA, because something I think I love about DSA is I think they're going to be popular in the next few years, like really popular, because they have these young people making their logos and their artwork and their sites look really like just cool.
Yeah.
Like they have a cool, hip look to
I mean, look at
them,
this LA one.
and good
It's-
policy.
The LA one's pretty good.
That's awesome. Like, look at that bear.
It's got the bear.
Whoever-
It's got the palm tree coming out of the hand, so you know what we're talking about. I mean,
I just feel like it's very young, like a lot of young people in it, and so it makes it cool. Makes it just generally like a cool thing to look at, and their sites are nice, and they do like feminist socialist reading nights here in Chicago that I've considered going to. You can just listen to feminists read feminist books.
that's cool.
I would go to that. I would check that out. But yeah, just check the chapter in your neighborhood, see what they have to say. I was actually interested, so I talk about how much I hate libertarians, but there is a Libertarian Democratic Socialist caucus in Chicago. It's a group of people that are Democratic Socialists and Libertarians that are coming together and trying to find where they have similar values, and then voting together on those values rather than separating their vote, which I think is a great idea.
Yeah.
As much
Yeah.
as I talk shit about libertarians, if we can come together on something and pass a really good ballot initiative, let's do it.
Well, I think
like
that's what
legalizing
you're
marijuana.
saying too. Is like the third parties should come together if they do want to do something like
Yes.
that. Because
right,
like you
right,
said,
right.
if it's splitting the
That's what I
vote
would
so
say.
much,
I would say if a Green Party candidate's going to run because you honestly think the other two candidates have no, or that you think you should be the one who wins. In a thing like with Trump, if I was what's her name that ran for the Green Party, Jill Stein. Seeing how bad Trump was, I think I would have consolidated my vote and said vote for Hillary,
right, right.
just because he's so bad. Like,
And that's all it
in
would have
situations
taken.
like that.
That's all it would have taken.
if she had said I'm pulling out of the race, vote for Hillary, yeah, I think we would have. I think we wouldn't have the shit we're in right now.
2 more, man. So
ugh,
yeah, hopefully you learned a little something. I learned a little something. Mike is pretty good guy to ask about this stuff. He's really into it. So I'm lucky enough to have a friend who's willing to speak the truth and talk about it.
Ask questions. I can always, I could be wrong. I won't say that everything I say or believe in is 100% correct. I believe in it because I come from the standpoint of what's best for the most people, I think, generally.
Yeah.
And individual rights I don't care if a billionaire has the right to make all of his money because he's taking the money away from more people, and that's bad. So cool. Yeah, but you, dude, I mean, being open-minded is the number one thing.
That's
just
it.
being willing to consider
That's
everything.
it. That's all it takes, man.
Yeah.
So
Just-
make sure you register, claim your sticker. Okay.
Yeah, register, vote. If you vote, let's say, go ahead and post in the comments that you voted, and we'll give you a sub.
Oh, there you go.
If you post your picture in the comment,
We'll also
your
give
vote.
you a shout out.
we'll give you a shout
How
out.
about that? Okay. I think that
That
little
wraps it up.
quick special edition of the Pawn Collective. We want
Thanks for watching, guys, and we really appreciate it. And let us know if you like this. Thumbs it up, like they say. If you don't, thumbs it down.
it down.
And if you thumbs it down, at least give us the opportunity. Tell me why.
Yeah,
Post it
talk
in the
to
comments.
us. That's our whole thing. Is we want interaction. We
Yeah.
are.
If you didn't like this,
We have values.
I wanna know how to be better.
And things we like, but we're open to hearing what you have to say.
definitely.
We're open to arguing as well, if you want.
I'll debate a libertarian right now.
if you're a libertarian and you saw this,
Let's get on.
Mike
Call me
wants
in.
to. We could do like a live stream chat. if
We'll
you wanna
Skype
do
you.
it.
We'll
Yeah.
Skype you in. I want to talk to you.
All right, thanks, guys.
All right, bye.